Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. I'm Mark McNulty, president of Action Coach Bluegrass. And today I have with me Katie Hutchinson, who is the founder and CEO of KHIT Consulting, as my guest. So today we're going to be talking about Katie's business, her journey to business ownership, and some of the challenges, best practices, and just learnings, and share a peek in what it's really like to build and operate a business. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. Katie, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. So tell our listeners a bit about KHIT Consulting and kind of how this all came about.
Yeah, so KHIT Consulting is a IT consulting and project management firm. We work in a lot of different areas: healthcare, mental health, and substance use, construction, manufacturing, logistics, even salons, restaurants, things like that. We really help businesses. What I like to say is we really solve business process issues and problems. We just use technology to do it. We're not a managed service provider. We do have amazing partners for that, but we focus on the implementation. We really focus on the people around technology. Technology can be scary. Nobody really loves change, but the only thing that stays constant is change. And so we help people learn how to utilize and really make technology work the best for them so they can spend more time doing what they love. Nobody becomes a substance use counselor to do notes all the time. They want to be with their clients. Nobody goes into construction to fill out change orders and invoices and, do emails back and forth with clients. They want to build, they want to design. So we just try to make their lives easier and let them do more of what they love.
Okay. So when did you start KHIT?
So KHIT was officially born February 5th of 2019. That's when we became incorporated. I started working for myself in 2018, and it was just kind of an accident. I was a teacher in my former career, English teacher, actually, but I was an engineering major in college for a while and a lot of other things. I love learning. I love it so much. And so I declared my major several times because I wanted to do everything and there just wasn't enough time. And, once I got out of the classroom doing other things and administration, I wasn't as fulfilled. And so I took a contracting job as a project manager and just really loved being in the technology, back in the math space, and still being able to use my level of learning. We love to, like I said, help people be confident. So then I took on a couple projects. I think I had 3. And by the time I took on my 4th one, I started to have to hire people. And now there's 8 of us. And yeah, it's kind of a happy accident, but I'm happy and we just keep growing.
There's a lot of accidental entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah. I didn't set out to be like, I'm going to be a business owner. And a lot of days I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I wasn't cut out for this. I didn't mean to do this. This was an accident, but I have a lot of people who depend on me. And at the end of the day, I really love it. I don't love working on the business as much as I love working in the business, which is something, that coaches will tell you. You have to work on your business if you want it to survive. And we just hit our 5-year mark, which we're very proud of. And now stuff's getting real and we have to keep going. And so that's not my favorite part. My favorite part's working in the business. I like doing the coding. I like doing the building. I like working with the clients, but.
Yeah. So as a CEO and founder, at the start, you wore every hat, right? So what roles do you play now that you've got some team members?
So I don't do as much of the client facing anymore. I mean, there are still clients that, I consider like my clients, but there's things that, my director of data science, there are projects that are hers and there are really industries that are hers. And I say, oh, that's really a Rebecca question, or that's really an Amber question. I have a COO, CFO now. She does the budget. She helps make those kinds of decisions. And so I say, that's an Amber question. Or Danny has her clients. And like, oh, that's really, and it's really nice. And really, I would have to say success really has to do with surrounding yourself with great people, because you can't do it all. And I have surrounded myself with some amazing people And so some days I just find myself going, huh, what do I do now? Like they've got it covered. And that's really amazing. So final word comes down to me as CEO, but really we govern as we have a 4-person executive team, which is really half our team, but we meet once a week to go over things, how we're going and our goals and our strategic plan and things like that. So it's still a team effort.
Okay, awesome. You mentioned a lot of different industries that you serve. So what are some of the key characteristics of your target market? Who do you serve and what are you providing them?
Half of our clients are EHR clients, so electronic health record clients. So we help implement or customize those electronic health records systems. We have billing specialist who knows every Medicare and Medicaid rule, Medicaid for every different state, because every different state's different. We have clients in all different states. And we have the training specialist who can, build videos and training documents. And we really help those organizations ease into a new system or build out the system they already have to make it work for them. So that's a really good client for us. And businesses who just find themselves sitting at a computer a lot, with that construction, manufacturing, logistics companies, if they find themselves sitting behind a computer a lot instead of out with the clients, instead of, out with their customers, we can help automate some of those processes, find solutions for them and implement them so they're doing more of what they love. We always want to say people who are ready for a change or people who are ready to take a look. But even if you're not ready, we can help you get ready. We can help with that change management, with that getting everybody on board because everybody's different when it comes to technology. You have the button pushers. I'm a button pusher. You don't need to tell me what it does. I'll figure it out. But you have to respect people who aren't button pushers, who want to know what that button does before they push it. And that can be frustrating for people who are button pushers. But, Danny on my team, she always thinks about the least sophisticated user when she's designing anything, whether it's a training manual or whether it's part of the system. We always think about those people because we want people to be comfortable when using technology.
Okay, awesome. So what's one thing that you wish that people knew about your business?
How really dedicated we are to our clients and what a diverse background each of us has. And we really do work around the clock. We really just love to make people happy. We love for them to realize their dreams.
Mhm.
We love to have them, answer the question, my company would be a better place if my staff were able to what? Just finish that sentence. Let us help you do that. And so, what I want people to know about our company is we're going to meet you wherever you are, and we're not going to drag you along. We're going to inspire you, encourage you, empower you to want to do more and be more. And it will be painless. Like I promise, like even the people who are like, oh, I hate computers at the end of our training sessions are always like, oh, I can do this. This is something I feel comfortable with. And that's one of the things we pride ourselves on.
Okay, great. Let's talk a little bit about marketing. That kind of the IT services, you mentioned you got managed services. To the untrained eye, it's a crowded space that can be a little confusing.
Yeah.
So how do you market yourself and educate your potential clients and prospects so that they know how to utilize you and find you?
Yeah. It's when I say, we're an IT company, people think, oh, you do managed services, you fix computers, you reset passwords, which we do reset passwords, but that's not our bread and butter. And that's when we try to lead with like we solve business problems, we solve process problems, we solve even people problems. We just use technology. We fight those business battles. It's just that technology is our sword to do it. And the word consulting has absolutely become saturated. I was at a networking event recently and I was like, oh, Katie Hutchinson, KHIT Consulting. And they were like, how do you even find clients? There's a million of you guys. I'm like, well, yeah, but like we all don't do the same thing. I was in a meeting this morning with another consultant, but they do C-suite consulting. Like it's very different. And we do have a lot of business partners that we refer around if it's not the right consulting, but we really, we manage those IT projects because we have that IT background and we do get our hands dirty because we do have IT background. I have, SQL background and some other coding, and we have a developer on staff, and, we have those people who have those different specialties. And so we are unique in the fact that a lot of project managers will stay higher level where, we get in deep. So marketing is definitely, because for so many years we worked on referrals and we kept so busy. And then, that scene just kind of naturally, that when you're not actively working it, it dries up. And so I've been more present on LinkedIn, trying to get our marketing strategy. We don't have a dedicated salesperson or really any kind of dedicated sales strategy. And so that's something that's kind of on our radar this year to pick up. And I find it hard to sell myself, even though I'm my favorite topic and the sound of my voice is my favorite sound. Still, I get in a room of people and I'm like, oh, what do I like? How do I convince them to hire me? Like, and that's what I tell people. It's like, I just need to convince them how much good I could do for them.
Mhm.
Like, if they could just see the good I've done for other companies, they would be like, oh my gosh, yes. So marketing is like a sore spot.
Yeah. And it is for a lot of business owners. Very few of us opened our businesses to be sales and marketing people,
Right.
right?
There, I
But
feel like
it
you
turns
are or
out,
you aren't. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Like
but it
either you
turns
have
out,
that marketing vision or you're kicking and screaming every time somebody says marketing material.
right. And that's me. I'm the kicking and screaming.
I am too. Oh my gosh. First couple years of KIT, somebody would say marketing material to me and I would be like, just go to our website. I'm like, we have a website. What more do we need? Just go to our website.
Yeah. So as you look back over your 5 years, what were some memorable roadblocks you had to overcome to continue on your path to success?
Well, there was COVID, right?
Right.
We started in 2019 and had an amazing year, and then March of 2020. And so that kind of shifted. I think that as we grew and began to hire people, that whole, becoming a real business, having policies and procedures and HR documents, and you don't know what you don't know. And so once I started really networking and finding out all these things I needed, because I mean, we started with Google Sheets. I mean, we're still a Google company, but we use My Hours now. We use QuickBooks now. We use, but we started with Google Sheets and Google Forms, and everything was kept in Google on spreadsheets. And, that need for those processes. And even now, we're still redoing how we do things to make sure that we're covered. And I think that also when you hire people, bringing in those different voices was difficult for us. I'm related to a lot of the people that work for me, and most of us are women, and women supporting women, and sometimes it's difficult to be in like a whole group of them all the time, and that was really difficult, especially when you hire what's considered an outsider.
Mhm.
And you know I always want people to feel included. And so that was a big roadblock too. I wanted it to be a good culture for people. I wanted everybody to be happy. That's one of the reasons I started this, was because I wanted people to feel like they could be exactly who they were, to feel like they could fail and learn from it, because we only learn from failure. You don't learn from success. If a scientist is in a lab and he says, if I pour this into here, it's going to bubble, and it bubbles, he hasn't learned anything. Like he predicted that was going to happen. He knew it was going to happen. Only in our failures do we learn. And I want people to embrace failure and feel free to fail and be exactly who they are, and know wherever they are, they can't stay there. They have to keep growing. They have to keep moving and learning. And so getting everybody to be okay with not being on the same page all the time.
Mhm.
I think when they come from different backgrounds, that was the big
Yeah.
roller coaster.
So What are some things you've done to build that culture into your team and integrate all those different points of view?
So we've done some group coaching. We did the DISC profile. That was really helpful. We did our saboteurs, positive intelligence. That was helpful to a degree. Learning my saboteurs was hugely helpful. I mean, I guess kind of when you name them, you know them. I'm restless, I'm an avoider, and I'm a people pleaser. Those are my top three. But it made me a better leader. It made me better everything. But doing those group business therapy sessions, basically, there were a lot of tears in the beginning. And, you know, we got through it. And the other thing we did was we established meeting norms. So
Okay.
we sat down as an executive team, and we came up with a list of expectations for ourselves and for each other of what we needed to happen to have a successful meeting where we felt good at the end. And so we listed those out. And every single week we reviewed them. Every week for years we did this. And like every year we would redo them. And every year the list got smaller and smaller and smaller. So we have 5 things we review every time. We call them the KIT norms. And every week we go over them. And there are expectations for ourselves and for each other, like giving grace, assuming innocence, being respectful, and so that was really helpful too, to knowing that these are the things we expect while you're in this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And they came up with them too. And so that was really helpful too.
Okay. How would you describe your current leadership style?
I'm definitely a hands-off leadership, and I realized that became from me being a avoider and reading, well, it's on my to read list of how to have the hard conversations. But since learning that I am an avoider, I'm, not trying to avoid those conversations anymore. But as a leader, instead of telling, I really like to inspire people. I set high expectations, and I want them to expect high expectations from themselves too. So when, as a leader, I say, we have stand-ups every Monday, 15-minute stand-up. What are you working on? What are your obstacles? How can we help? And everybody's expected to be there, and everybody's expected to speak, and really leading by example is very, very important to me. And that's really changed, because I remember in the classroom, when kids weren't supposed to have cell phones, and I would have my cell phone, they'd be like, oh, you have your cell. And I'm like, I'm an adult, we don't have the same rules. But, when we talk about culture and climate, if you want the culture to be positive, you have to lead by example. And so, if I expect my people to keep their hours to every 15 minutes, I need to keep my hours to every 15 minutes, which I don't. So I don't, because it's just something I can't do. How can I expect others to do that? And everybody has their strengths. And so I'm still hands off, but I think I've increased my expectations, and still being okay when people fail, or,
Mm-hmm.
don't meet them, and we keep going and moving.
Right. Okay. So where do you see the business 3 to 5 years from now? What do the next 5 years look like?
I always say I want to grow without hiring people. I definitely want to do some more networking. A good friend of mine, John Jennings, always says, don't ask directions from somebody who's never been where you're going. So I really want to surround myself with people who have been where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to grow and get that ROI per person who works for me, per employee, because we really don't have a lot of overhead as an IT company. We have our laptops, we have our subscriptions and things like that. We do have an office, but we're small. And I want to kind of push our boundaries. Really, as a team of 8, I want to push. And eventually, I think by 5 years, I'll be, hiring people. And because I do want to grow, I love our team, and I love this place that we've created together. I do want to jump into some more like CMMC stuff, those cyber maturity model certifications. We're currently in RPO. We have an RP on staff. And if you're a tech nerd out there, you know what I'm talking about. those government regulations coming and other government regulations that have come out, just helping people stay compliant, safe, and yeah.
Okay, awesome. So covered a lot of ground today, a lot of interesting things, a lot of tidbits about growing and learning as a leader, as an owner, and developing your team, and then just great information about what you do. So for you listeners out there, make sure you watch this a couple times. Make sure you get all the subtle little things Katie shared with there. There's a lot to unpack in what she shared and figure out how do you apply that in your business. So Katie, to wrap us up, I've got a few kind of quick questions. First thought, top of your head's probably the best answer. So the first one is, what is your number one key to success?
Definitely embracing failure.
Okay. What's one piece of advice that you give to other business owners?
Don't take no for an answer. No means not right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Love that. So what's a book you're reading now or listening to now? A lot of us are doing audiobooks instead, that you would recommend other business owners to read or listen to?
Traction is one I've just started, but Drive by Daniel Pink was really helpful. It's about what motivates humans.
Right.
And it really helped me in who to keep and who to let go on my team.
Okay, awesome. And then if you had to choose just one area of your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would that be?
Marketing strategies. Marketing. I would have a marketing plan. I would wake up tomorrow and have a marketing plan, and it would be implemented, and I would not have to think about marketing for like at least 6 months. I would say 6 months. Like, that's not hard.
Right. Okay. All right. So last question I have for you today, and it's the most important one. So what inspires you the most right now?
My team, they're amazing, and they work really hard, and they pick me up when I'm down, and they're just incredible, and I can count on them, and they really inspire me to keep going when I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard.
Oh, that's awesome. I hear that quite a bit of times, that people's teams inspire them, and that's great. I love to hear that and the why behind it. So thank you so much, Katie. This has been Katie Hutchinson, founder, CEO, KHIT Consulting. She has shared in this brief 20 minutes a ton of information. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you get more interviews and conversations just like this one in the future. Katie, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you, Mark. It's my pleasure.
That'll wrap us up for today, and we'll see you all on the next conversation. Thanks and bye for now.
Bye.